Good afternoon, traders. It is Monday, April 6, 2020, and the U.S. stock market is closed. Another wild day in stocks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, which I'm showing right here, gapped up massively this morning, 800 or 900 points on the open. Ran up all day, and then in the last 15 minutes did this huge run up to add points. Officially, Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 1,627 points. That's like almost 8% in a day. I thought maybe that was a record, but I've lost track with all this wild volatility. I think there may have been a day we had over 2,000. I can't remember if that was going up or going down, but anyway, it was a big day. I just gotta say a couple things about this. I've been talking about this as a bull market, and if I suppose there's people out there. I read one pundit who said, this was insane. You can't. Stocks shouldn't be rallying today. This is crazy. Traders are crazy and so on. Well, traders aren't crazy. Markets predict the future. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm going to tell you, markets predict the future. They are looking ahead. They're not looking at just what's happening today. And what this huge rally in the Dow here is telling us that this coronavirus thing just isn't going to be hanging around a whole lot longer. And we're going to see a complete recovery. Even with this horrible sell-off that we've had, we were only in bear market territory for a couple days. And we're clearly back in bull market again. I mean, these are statistics. People keep track of these statistics. Will tell you, even they will tell you we're in a bull market. I'm going to tell you that this is the beginning of the new bull market of 2020, the roaring 2020s, and it will be the greatest bull market we've ever seen. And somebody's going to really laugh at me for this. This is the bull market that's going to take us to 50,000. No, that's not going to happen this year. We got a whole decade to do that, but it'll get there. Dow Jones Industrial Average will see 50,000. And so, if you're into investing, this is the time to buy. That's all I really want to say. I don't know. I want to say more than that. I want to talk a little about the coronavirus thing. Yeah, this is tragic, particularly if you die of coronavirus. That is tragic. And it has been a very nasty pandemic, no doubt about it. Nothing like the Spanish flu, however. And, you really start breaking down the statistics. It isn't as bad as it sounds. I'll give you some perspective here. 3 million people die every year in the United States of something. People die. People are born. I mean, that's life. We live with the prospect. All of us live with the prospect of death. But death scares the hell out of people, as it should. But if you have a media going crazy and publicizing these statistics every day, it scares people into a kind of paralysis. And that's what we're in right now, an economic paralysis, because people are really, really afraid. Look, I'll throw this at you just to think about. 110 people in the United States die every day. 110 people dying every day. That would really scare people if they publicize that. You know what they die of? They die of automobile accidents. 110 average every single day. And if you had hysterical media publicizing that, you better believe that some wingnut in Washington is going to call for banning cars, closing roads, and telling people to stay in their houses and not drive to work because they're going to die in an automobile accident. I believe that's a little exaggeration here with respect to the coronavirus, but I think that has a lot to do with what's been going on. And the stock market today is telling us it's going to forget this pretty soon. I'll just show you the long view of the Dow here. I've showed this many times, but up here, the second week of February or so was the all-time highs for the Dow, and then we had about 5-week drop here, taking us down about the third week of March, where it hit the lows, and then it's bounced from here. This is where we are today, and if you look at this, you can see that we've already recovered 1/3 of this fall, and we've done that very quickly, and we're in bull market territory. So the people that are predicting the Great Depression coming, or even a recession, I think are dead wrong. We are headed into another period of frenzied investment, let's call it that, and this will certainly benefit us. Okay, that's my spiel about the bull market of the roaring 2020s. We had an okay day. You know, our algorithm is kind of adjusting to this madness. We only had one position coming into today in a drug company that had done something with coronavirus vaccine quite a while ago, and it didn't hold up at all. We closed out $3,100 in that one single stock that we closed out. We got in to 29 new positions, if you can believe that. 29 new positions, and we only have 50 stocks, so we're in definitely more than half of everything we trade. It's a little bit scary, but we are holding $13,000 in open trade equity with those 29 positions. That's not a huge amount of money given this move, where we would have made a fortune if somehow we could have gotten into all those positions on Friday, but that isn't what happened. But hey, it is what it is. I think the way this thing closed will probably have some follow through tomorrow. We could make a fair amount of money on this. If it goes south, we're toast. But I'm not seeing that in the sentiment of this market. By the way, one interesting thing, and you may just laugh at me for this, but the Prime Minister of Great Britain is hospitalized for coronavirus, and he was moved into intensive care today. And they made that announcement, when the Dow was right about here. And if the Dow was really paying much attention to coronavirus news, it would have sold off on that news. It didn't even blink. It just kept going higher and higher. And so, as I say, I think this is telling us we're getting very close to the end of the coronavirus scare with respect to investment. That is my prediction, and as you know, I'm calling this a roaring bull market. Let's take a look. I want to look at 3 stocks we traded today. This was our worst stock, believe it or not. This is Immunomedics Incorporated, IMMU, and this thing opened up over 100% today, if you can believe that. There's some good news on a breast cancer drug that they were working on, and the thing doubled in price on the open. Of course, we buy those gaps, so we're buying this thing right in the sky. And you look at the chart here, there was no sell-off here, but it just pulled back a little. And we bought 6,000 shares because we were buying it based on the price down here. So we had a lot of positions. So a little bit of pullback hurt us. We are down $3,500 in IMMU. That was our worst trade of the day. We had lots of good ones, so I'll show you just a couple of those. I'm showing you new stocks I haven't shown before. This one is SSQ, which is Square Incorporated, and that gapped up this morning. I mean, everything gapped up. We gapped up. We grabbed the gap. It looked like a lousy place to get in. It just kept moving up all day long, and we have $3,000 in Square Incorporated. And then finally one more here. This is Wayfair Incorporated, and Wayfair, again, huge gaps from $50 to about $67 on the open. We grab it here. Lucky we got a little pullback here. We don't do this opening range. We would have been filled right up there at the top if we had traded opening range. We don't. We got in here about 45 minutes after the market opened, and we held on, and this doesn't look like a big move, but we're actually holding $3,700 in open trade equity in Wayfair. So that looks like a good trade too. So, very exciting day in the stock market. This is the beginning, folks. Mark my word, this is the beginning of the greatest bull market of all time. This is Trader Bob signing off. See you tomorrow on Tuesday.